I always loved night drives. There was something calming about the empty roads, the soft hum of the engine, and the cool night air rushing through the slightly open window. But that night, everything changed. It was around midnight, and I had decided to take a long drive to clear my head. The week had been particularly stressful, and the solitude of the open road was exactly what I needed. I set off with no particular destination in mind, just driving wherever the road took me. After about an hour, I found myself on a winding country road, surrounded by dense woods on either side. The road was unfamiliar, but I was enjoying the serenity. My favorite playlist was softly playing in the background, and for the first time in days, I felt at peace. Suddenly, my car's headlights flickered. I frowned and glanced at the dashboard. Everything seemed normal. I shrugged it off as a minor electrical glitch and continued driving. But then, the headlights flickered again, this time going completely dark for a split second before coming back on. A shiver ran down my spine. I slowed the car, my eyes darting to the rearview mirror. The road behind me was pitch black, with no sign of other cars or lights. I was alone in the middle of nowhere. I tried to reassure myself that it was just a technical issue, but a nagging sense of unease settled in my gut. As I rounded a bend, my headlights caught something on the side of the road, a figure standing in the darkness. I barely caught a glimpse before I sped past, but it looked like a person, dressed in dark clothes, just standing there, motionless. My heart pounded in my chest. Who would be out here at this hour, in the middle of nowhere? I kept driving, trying to shake off the eerie feeling. But a few miles down the road, my car's headlights flickered again, and this time, they went out completely. Panic set in as I brought the car to a stop. I fumbled for my phone to use its flashlight, but of course, there was no signal. I sat there in the dark, the only sound the soft ticking of the cooling engine. I decided to check the headlights, hoping it was just a loose connection. I stepped out of the car, the night air biting against my skin. The darkness was almost palpable, pressing in from all sides. I turned on my phone's flashlight and walked to the front of the car. The headlights looked fine, but as I was about to return to the driver's seat, I heard a rustling in the bushes nearby. My heart skipped a beat. I swung the flashlight toward the sound, but saw nothing. Just the dense woods, shadows shifting in the weak light. I hurried back to the car, locking the doors behind me. I tried the ignition, and to my relief, the headlights flickered back to life. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding and quickly drove off. As I continued down the road, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every shadow seemed to move, and every rustle of leaves made me jump. Then, in the distance, I saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on the brakes, my car skidding to a halt. The figure was directly in my path, illuminated by my headlights. It was the same person I had seen earlier. They were standing still, head down, arms at their sides. I honked the horn, but they didn't move. A feeling of dread washed over me. I had no choice but to get out and confront this person. I grabbed a flashlight and stepped out of the car, my heart pounding in my ears. "Hey, are you okay?" I called out, trying to keep my voice steady. No response. I took a few cautious steps forward, the flashlight beam shaking in my trembling hand. As I got closer, I could see the figure more clearly. It was a woman, her hair hanging down over her face, her clothes tattered and dirty. "Do you need help?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The woman slowly lifted her head, and I froze. Her eyes were black voids, her face twisted in an expression of pure terror. She opened her mouth as if to scream, but no sound came out. I stumbled back, dropping the flashlight. In the brief moment of darkness, I heard a whisper close to my ear. "Leave now." I scrambled back to the car, my hands shaking so badly I could barely get the keys in the ignition. The headlights flickered as the engine roared to life, and I sped off, the woman disappearing into the darkness behind me. I drove as fast as I could, not daring to look back. The road seemed endless, but eventually, I saw the faint glow of city lights on the horizon. Relief washed over me as I merged onto a busier road, Other cars and streetlights reassuring me that I was back in civilization. I never took a night drive again after that. The memory of those black eyes and the whisper still haunts me. I don't know who or what that woman was, but I do know one thing. Some roads are better left untraveled at night.